Today's topic is about Squid server. Squid server. Now, Squid server means what? It is actually means proxy server. So normally we call it as a proxy server. In Linux, when we configure it as a Squid server. Squid is a kind of fish, so they name it like a squid, but it is actually proxy server. Now, what is proxy server? Proxy server basically do what? It try to do something from the for the other machines. Like for example, this is one server here. Now, if this server is working for the other machines, then this server will be proxy for that other machine. Very simple. Proxy means what? In place of others, will do something else. So if someone does something for others, or we can say in place of others, so that person will be called as a proxy for him. Now here in our network proxy, we create proxy for the network. Now what it do? It do use to provide the network connection, or we can say internet connection. Like for example, we have internet connection available for one machine, but we need to configure the internet. We need to make the internet available for the other machines also. So we can use this machine as a proxy for them. Like if we have multiple clients here in our network, we have 2, 3, 4 clients are there. Multiple clients are there, and they are all connected through the switch. Like this one is connected, this one is also connected, and this one is also connected, and this is also connected. Now we can do what? They all can go directly to the internet. They can all go to directly access the internet, or we can use a proxy server for them. Now what is the benefit of proxy server? Proxy servers are we can hide. It is actually secure our internal network, because in place of these other client machines, this proxy server will go to internet. So this proxy server has one interface which is connected to our local network, and then it is also have another interface which is connected to internet. So that interface will be connected to internet. Now it actually act as a proxy for these client machines. That means if this client machine, any client machine wants to access any website or web application, so it will send the request to the proxy server, and proxy server will go to internet on behalf of this client, and then get the data from the internet or web server, and then it will provide that data to this host. It will give it to the host, and then host will access it. Now if anyone try to see from the outside of our internal network, if they try to see who is accessing the internet, so they will see only this proxy server. They cannot see our internal IP addresses, internal network. So it will also provide a security for the internal network, that our internal network will remain hidden from the outside, from the internet. So if suppose if some hacker is trying to access trying to verify that what are the network we have, what are the machines we have, what are the internal networks, so it is not able to find that, because we are accessing through the proxy. They can only reach to this proxy. Then what? We can use this proxy server as a firewall also. It also called as a application level firewall. It actually provides the web application proxy. It actually provides the security for the web applications. That means because all the clients are going through the proxy server, then we can decide on the proxy server that who can access, and who can access, and what sites and what websites we are allowed to access in our LAN. So we can decide that if this IP address is not allowed, then this client will not be able to access the internet. And if we decide that these websites from the internet should not work in our network, so those websites will also not work. That we can configure here in our proxy server. and we can configure this proxy server as a firewall for blocking some data or some websites, and also we can disallow some clients to access the internet. So this proxy server is actually called Squid server in Linux. So we configure the Squid server as for the proxy, and this proxy will go what it will do. It will browse the internet on behalf of these clients, and it will hide the internal network. It actually provides the security for internal network. Then also it can also use we can also use this proxy or Squid server for the firewall, where we can create the rules to block these data, block these informations, block these clients or websites. Now for configuring the proxy server, first what we need the packages. So the package requirement for the proxy is called Squid. We need the package name Squid so that we can configure this server as a Squid server. Then also we should need to connect the two interface card. We need to have two adapters on the proxy server, so that from one adapter we connect this local LAN network, and then from the other adapter we can connect the internet. Then also our proxy server's name must be resolved, whether it is from DNS or whether it is resolved from the host file. We have to make sure that the server's name must be resolved, because when we start the services for the Squid server, it will try to resolve the name, and if it is not try to resolve the name of this proxy server, then it will give us the error. So let's see how we can configure it. And one more thing, why it is called Squid server, why they name it as a Squid. You can see that what design I made, it actually somehow looks like a Squid server. This is the body for the Squid. We can say this is the body of the Squid. They look like this, and they have tentacles like this, tentacles like octopus. Now that is why they have named it as a Squid server. So basically it is a proxy server. So this is our Linux machine where we are going to configure the Squid server. So first we need two adapters here, two network adapters. So let's check that. We have one adapter, we don't have more adapters, so we have to make sure we have two adapters first. Okay, so I added the new adapter here, so we can see the NMCLI device status. So it shows that there is two devices are there. This is the first one and this is the second one which we have added. Now this adapter is having the profile, but this new adapter does not have any profile connected, so it is saying this is disconnected. So first I have to make the profile for this, because when you see this connection show, when you try to see the connection, so we have only one profile, connection profile, and that is for our first adapter. So I have to create the new profile for this adapter. So I will do what? I will configure the new profile here. So connection name, and then I want to add the new connection. Then you have to mention the connection name. You can mention any name. I don't want to have confusion, so I will use the same name, which is the physical adapter name. So this will be the connection name. Interface name will be this. This is the same. So I use actually interface name, connection name same as the interface name, so that it will not make me confused that this is something else or something else. If I make a different name, I can make any name, but sometime it will make you confused that when you use ifconfig command, it will show you this name, and when you run nmcli command, it will show you this name. Okay, and then the type will be Ethernet, and then I will say okay, this is what I have added. So the profile is also added now. Now we can check the profile is there. So now we have added the profile, but we have not this is connected to this device, but it is not configured. So the profile which we have configured is only one, and that is what this profile, and it is having this IP address already configured. Now this profile which we configured here, we have not configured the IP address to that profile, but automatically by default it is on DHCP, and it is getting the IP address from DHCP. So what I will do here, we can check it. NMCLI device show, and I want to see the information about this device. So it is getting the IP address, and this IP address is from the internet. So it is getting the IP address from the internet router, and it is connected to internet. It is going to this is the gateway, and this will be the DNS server IP. So if I try to connect the internet, I can connect it from this server. So let's try to check whether we can use the internet or not. So I will go to open the browser here, and try to access the internet. So our server is connected to internet. It is connecting the internet. Internet is working here on the server machine, and this server is having the two interface. So from one interface it is connected to internet, and from the other interface it is connected to other machines in our LAN network. So we have two IP addresses on two interfaces. So when we see here, so this is the interface which is connected to our LAN network, and this is the IP address we have on our LAN network. So other clients are connected with this IP address, and with the help of this adapter it is connected to the internet, and it is getting this IP address from the internet router. So it is getting this IP automatically from the internet router. It is connected to internet, and that is why the internet is working on this system. Now we can our client machines, all the client machines which is going to use this proxy server, they should connect to this proxy server, but they should not connect to the internet. This is our client machine, and in the client machine, when we check the IP address here, so it is having only one interface, and it is connected to the server which using this using this network. It is having 19.002 IP address. So when you try to ping the server, it can ping the server from here, but it cannot connect the internet. It is not connected directly to internet. So if we try to access any website from here, it is not going to be accessed from this client side. For example, I will try to access google.com. So it will give me error. It will say no, I can't access it. I don't have that site. And we got this error, server not found. That means it is not connected. So it is not connected to the server. It is not connected to internet. It is only connected to the server which we are going to configure as a proxy server. So this is our design, where we have the interface which is connected to our LAN network, and it is having the IP address of 19.0.0.1, and all the machines in the LAN network have the same network IP, so they can connect to the proxy server. And from the other interface, it is connected to the internet, and it is getting the IP address automatically by using the DHCP. It is getting the IP from the internet router, which is giving the internet connection to this server. Now because it is getting the internet, so it is getting the DNS server of internet also. That means when you try to resolve any name here on this machine, it will try to resolve that name from this DNS server, and it will, if we try to resolve its own name, it will not able to resolve its own name. It will try to resolve it from the internet DNS server. Now that could be the problem when you start the service for Squid. So for starting and running the Squid service, this server must resolve its own name. So let's verify that. Now we have our own DNS server also, like on server. So we'll go to server here. So on server we have our own DNS server. Let's try to dig it. I will try to dig with its own name, linux1.example.com. This is our server name, and it is not getting any answer here. Actually no answer. Query but no answer. Now why it is not getting any answer? Because it is trying to resolve the name from the internet DNS server, because it is internet, it is connected to internet. But we have we have our own DNS server here. We have our own DNS server configured. We can see the service is running here, systemctl status for the named service. So the service is running, and we can have our own our DNS server is running. So this DNS server is for our client machines. That means from our client side, if you try to check the name or resolve the name for the server, so it is going to be resolved. Okay, I misspelled that. It is com. So it is resolving the name. We are getting the answer. It is getting the answer from the DNS server. That is our proxy server itself. But it is not able to resolve its own name because it is connected to internet now. So we have to make sure that our server will resolve the name of its own, so that we can start the service. Now we don't change the DNS setting, because we need the internet DNS so that we can connect the internet. I will do what? I will change the name in the host file, so that whenever it try to resolve its own name, it will resolve it from the host file. So I will add the entry for this server in the host file. This is the IP address, this is the short name, and then this is the full name. This is to update the settings. Now I will not use dig, because dig is to resolve the DNS name. So I will try to use the ping command to try to ping with the name. Now it is resolving the name by using the host file. It knows that this name means this IP address. Now we need only that, so that we can start the services. So first what we need is a package. Package name is Squid, and that package we need to install it. So we check whether we have the package installed or not. We can use yum, we can use RPM also. Now this package is available, this is not installed, so we have to install this package to configure this server as a Squid server. We can install it by using the yum, or we can install it by using the RPM also. So I'm going to install this Squid here. It is having one dependency. So if you try to install it by using the RPM, so you have to resolve the dependency also. Not much, there is only one dependency it needs. Okay, so package is installed now. We can see what is the important files we have with the Squid server. So we can go on to list the files which came with this package. Now it shows that these files are there. Now it is a long output here. So we'll go up for it. Okay, it is from here. So under etc we have these configuration files, and on these configuration files we have this main configuration file. Where is it? It is here. So this is our main configuration file. If anything we want to configure, we can configure it from here. Then we have a service. That service name is this squid.service. This is the service name for the file, for the Squid. We have some commands also here. Then we have the library files here. Then under the library files, then after the library files we have the documents here. These are the document files, these are the man pages, Then we have the share directory. Under the document we have the errors also. Now this is why the output is very big, because it is having the errors in different languages. That means when you try to access the Squid server, when you try to access the website or any website by using the Squid server, and Squid server is giving you the error, for example access denied. So these error files are here under this directory, under the Squid error directories. Under the directory it is having in different languages. As you see, these are the errors, and when you see these errors, access denied, not found, or whatever, so you will see the error based on the different languages. Now it depends what language you have configured in your system. It will show you error based on your system language, and it has all those necessary languages like AF, AR, then you have same error in AZ. Now it depends on the it based on different countries language, different language. CA, I don't know what CA is. CS, maybe it is Denmark, or maybe this one is Denmark, and I know this is English. EN is English, so these are the errors for the English languages. We have these all errors in these languages, and after English we have ES, ET, FA, French, Hungary, what no, I don't know, Italy, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Latin. So it is having errors on these different languages, and because of that the output is this big. Okay. UK, US, and after that error files you have the icon files also. These are the icons which is used in those errors. And then finally this is the log directory, where all the logs will go for the Squid server. The running IDs will go here, and this is for the caching directory. This is the caching directory where the Squid server can do what? Caching also. Caching also, that means it can cache the web pages, and web pages caching is disabled by default because it can take a lot of disk space. But it can do what? It can cache the web pages also. That means when the client browses the sites by using the proxy, so proxy will do what? The proxy server will cache all those sites. So next time when other user try to access the sites and the internet is not available or slow, then what? It will provide the pages from the cache. But the caching is disabled. When you enable the caching, it is going to store the cache into this directory. So you have to make sure that you have enough or sufficient space available for this directory or for this directory. That means you should create a different partition for this directory so that it will use that different space for it. So you have to make sure that you should have a specific available space for it. Then you can enable the caching. By default it is disabled. So this is what the important files we have. Now I want to start the server as a Squid server. So what I will do, I will just start the service. So for starting the Squid server, I will start the service. Right now it is not started, it is it is stopped, it is actually loaded but it is inactive, dead. So first I will start the service, and for starting I will use systemctl start Squid service. Now it is started. Let's check. So it is started here, and it is started without any error. That means it is actually resolved the name also. If it is not resolved the name, then it will give you error here, but it is disabled. That means when we reboot the system, it is going to be disabled again. So if we want to run it every time, then we have to make sure we enable the services by using the enable command. Now it is become permanent, persistent. Whenever we reboot the system, the service will reboot. Now our server is now running as a Squid server, and now it is listening for the request. Now where it is listening, that is also important. When we check the netstate command, that where this service is, where our Squid server is listening, so we will grab from here the Squid. Now I grab the Squid program, so you see this is the Squid program which is running. Now it is running and it is listening for all the IP addresses, but it is listening on the specific port. This is the default port number for the Squid server, and this is our proxy port number. This is 3128. It is actually defined for the Squid. It is defined for the proxy. So it is listening on this 3128, but the web request goes for port number 80 or 443. If I'm from the client side, if I try to browse any website or any website and web application, so it is going to be use the port number 80 for the normal site and port number 443 for the secure site. It is not going to use this port, but the proxy server is listening on this port. So we have to configure the client to send the request, all the browsing request to this Squid server and also on this port number, so that whenever any request comes, so this Squid server this proxy server will go to internet on behalf of that client and browse the internet and then give that data to that client. Now it is working and it is listening. We'll go on to see the client. We'll try to configure the client to use the proxy now. Now from the client side, if you try to ping the server, so it is connected to the server, but if I try to ping any internet site, it is not going to reply because it is not connected to internet. It is not going to get reply because it is not connected to any internet. And when we try to access it from the browser, when we try to access any site, it is also not going to work because it is not connected to internet, but it is connected to the proxy server. So unknown host, it is not getting anything, so it is not resolving the name, it is not connecting that. Now it is from this browser also you will get the error. Now we have to make this client, configure this client to use the proxy. Now this is for the internet, this is for the website, so what we have to configure it from the browser. This is Firefox. If you are using any other browser, if you are using other than the Linux system, you are using Windows, and in Windows you are using the Edge browser, Internet Explorer, maybe you are using Chrome here on Linux or even a Windows, or you are using the Apple, you are using the Safari. Whatever the browser we use, in all the browsers we have a setting for configuring the proxy. So when you browse anything on that browser, the browser will send the request to the proxy server. So for configuring the proxy, we'll go to the setting of the browser. So I will go to preference in this Firefox. It can be different by the browser, like this is the setting for the Firefox. Maybe it is different in Chrome, it is different in Edge, it is different in Microsoft Internet Explorer, but you have to just find out the setting for the proxy. So I will go to advanced setting here. Under the advanced setting I will go to the network, and under the network setting we have option to configure the Firefox to connect the internet. We will go to setting here and we have option to use the proxy. By default it uses a proxy for the system setting. So if your system is configured with the proxy, it is going to use that. Otherwise we can configure the manual proxy. So manual proxy, here I will configure the server IP address. Now remember, we are giving the IP address which is the local network IP address for the server. So this is the interface which is connected to this local net. This is connected to the client. So we are saying that for the internet, the HTTP, for the HTTP request, send all the requests to this proxy server. But the proxy server is listening on the different port. So we have to make sure we give the right port here. The port is what? 3128. Then for all these other services like SSL, FTP or sockets, I will use that same proxy. So I configure the same proxy for the all services. And then and also it is saying no proxy for localhost or 127. So localhost will work. Now it depends on the browser, different settings depends on the different browsers. Now I will say OK. Now we have configured the proxy. We say that use the proxy server for going for the internet, all the internet related services, HTTP, HTTPS, FTP. To use that from this browser, try to use the proxy server. Now I have given the URL, I will refresh. Now we are getting the different error here. Now this error means our proxy server is now working, because this error is coming from the proxy server. It is saying the error here, the request URL could not be retrieved. This is the URL. It is saying the following error was encountered while trying to retrieve this URL. We are trying to connect this, and it says here that this is access denied. And access control configuration prevents your request to from being allowed at this time. Please contact your service provider if you feel this is incorrect, and your cache administrator is root. And here if you see here says generated Tuesday, it is saying the date and time it is showing, and it is showing the server name here saying linux1.example.com, and it is a Squid server version 3.3.8. So we are getting this error from the Squid server. That means our Squid server is running, but it is not allowing this client to access the website. It is not allowing the client to access the internet. Now why it is not allowing this client to access the internet? This is the default behavior for the proxy Squid server in our Linux. The default behavior is this, that it only allows the client machines which is having the public IP addresses range, a private IP addresses range, not public, private. Private, that means if it is having the class A network, class A IP address, then it must be 10.0.0.0 network. This is the private IP address in class A. And if it is using the class B, then 172.16.0.0. It must be this IP address. Then if it is class C, then it must be 192.168.0.0. So if it is class A, then it must be in this range. If it is class B, then it must be in this range. And if it is class B, then it must be in this range. So if our machines, if our LAN machines, all the LAN machines are having any of these private IP addresses, they were allowed. Right now what IP addresses we have in the LAN network is actually this IP address. It is not a private IP address. So it is not allowing this IP to go and access through the proxy server. It is only allow the private address, not the public address. This is the default behavior. So by default, proxy server allowed everyone, but only from the private IP addresses, private IP networks. If the if the client side it is using the public IP address, it does not allow it. Now I can for accessing it, I should change the IP addresses to the private IP addresses, or I can change the configuration in our Squid server. So let's see what is the configuration file is there and how we can change the configurations. Okay, so on server, let's see the configuration file here, that what we have in the configuration file and what we should do to allow our network. So this is the main configuration file, and I'm opening the file here. Now in this file you can see these are comments, and these are the configurations which is running here. Now it is not a big file, it is a small file now. But in previous versions, if you open the file, you will see the file is a very big file, almost 1000 lines. But right now the file is very small. Okay, now what we have in the file? Now in the file, we can say it is divided into two sections. Just like we configured the firewall in our Cisco routers, it is same as this here. Now what it is here, first section is for the ACL section. Now ACL section, that means where we are creating the list. Creating the list, that means the list of protocols, a list of port numbers, a list of IP addresses, and then the next section we are saying deny or allow. This section is, we can say, HTTP access section, where we can say deny or allow to those lists. Now here we have some default list configured and some default allow or deny is also configured. Now what it is configured here? First, how it is configured the list. So for configuring the ACL list, what we do, we use this command ACL. This is the command. Then next you will mention the name of the ACL, whatever the name you want you can give here. Then here you will mention the type of ACL. Now type we define based on different criterias. Like for example SRC, this is for source. That means we are defining the source IP address. This is for port. That means we are defining the list based on port numbers. We can define different different types of port. This type of ACL we can create, and we can define different type of options here. Now based on the options which we select here, source or port, we mention the value here. That means if I am talking about the source address, so I am mentioning the source address here, IP address. If I am mentioning the destination address, then I can mention the destination address here. If I am mentioning the protocol, then I will mention the protocol here, which protocol. If I am mentioning the port here, that means I will mention which port here. So based on the options which we use here, we can mention the values, what values we want to define here. Now after creating the list, in the section allow deny, we mention this command HTTP access underscore access. Then we mention allow or deny, whether we want to allow or deny, and then we mention the name of the list which we configured here. Now what the lists are configured here by default. So first, this name local net is configured. These all are local net here, and in the local net it is defined here the private IP addresses range. If you see, this is for class A, this is for class B, this is for class C, and these are defined in RFC 1918 that these are the considered private addresses. Same as for IPv6, it is actually called link local addresses. This is the link local addresses, which is private dynamic automatic IP addresses for IPv6. Then also we have these private addresses in IPv6. So it is defining the private addresses here. Now here the list is defined, that local net is a list where we have all these IP addresses defined, source IP addresses. Now what to do with the list? It is not, then it has defined the here now here what it is defining the list name ACA SSL port, and it is using the option port, and here it is saying this is the port number, that means SSL port, this is SSL port, and these are the safe ports. So when it is saying safe port, so it is adding all these ports as a safe ports. Now here it is define the ports, define the private IP addresses. Now here it is saying what to do with that. So it is saying HTTP access deny safe ports. Now if it is a safe ports, then how it is going to be denied? It is not going to be denied actually. It is using this not here. HTTP access deny safe ports, but it is not going to deny the safe ports because these are safe port. So actually it is not denying the safe port, it is adding this here. Now this means not, that means not safe port. So what it is saying, deny all the ports which is not safe port. That means only allow the safe ports. Now what the meaning of safe ports? Meaning of safe port is all these ports which is defined under the list name. Then it is saying deny the connect feature. This connect option, it is actually a method, and the method is connect, which is actually not secure. Then it is also denying the port which is not SSL. Now remember, a list will apply in order. In order, that means first statement will be read, then the second statement will go on to read. If the match find in the first statement, then it is going to apply that, and in the next statement, if the request will not match here, then it is going to go for the second statement, then third statement, then final statement. So the processing of the list is going to be in an order from top to bottom. Now why I am saying here that because first it has denied the safe ports, not the safe port. That means whatever it is not the safe port, it is going to be denied. But here it is saying deny also not SSL port. So separately it is creating the SSL port also, a list for the SSL port. So first any port will be denied here. First statement says only for the safe ports. Then when the SSL port comes 443, so statement will not match here. So it will try to find it in second. It will match here that okay, SSL port means this, and it is also not deny. That means it is only it will allow the safe port also. Then it is allowing local host. Local host, that means only the local host, that means 127 IP, 127.0.0 IP it is allowing, and also it is allowing the manager who is managing the system. And then again it is saying denying the manager. But when the first statement says allow, then the second statement will not work. It is for the caching manager. So second statement will not work, first statement will say allow. Now here it is saying HTTP allow the local net and the local host, and that is why only the private IP addresses are allowed, because it is saying that allow local net. And for the other IP addresses on and every other things, the final entry says deny all. That means if anything does not match, then it is going to match here. It is saying deny all. So our IP address is 19.0.0. So when that comes, it is not matching as a private address. It is not matching in the list. So it is going on to match here, and it says deny all. So this is how the list process. And then what? This is the port number defined here. The default is 3128. If we want to change the port, then we can change it from here. Then this option is to allow the caching. Right now it is commented here, so it is not doing the caching here. So if we want to allow the caching, then we have to just remove this comment here. It is to uncomment and adjust the following to add a disk cache directory, and where it is going to cache the data, it is going to cache under the var spool squid. Then this is also for the leave core dump for the first cache directory, and this is the cache directory for our site. Then the other options related to FTP and Gopher. Now the file is ended here. Now we want to allow our network also. So what we have to do, we have to create a separate list for that, and we have to allow or deny for it. So what I will do here, I will create a separate list for our network. Now what I will do, I will make a separate section for us which says that this is our section. So I will divide it from the default. And I will create here our new ACL. So the command is what? ACL. To create the ACL, the command is ACL. Then you should mention the name of the ACL. So for example, I will say this is my net. This will be the name of the ACL. Then I will say source address. So I'm creating the ACL based on the source address, and I want to allow the whole IP network, whole network 19.0.0, so that every machine of this network will be allowed. Now I created the list, and in the list I have mentioned the network IP here. Now I have to mention the list whether it is going to allow or deny. So for that I will create the section here for the deny and allow. Now remember, you have to make sure that you give the entry before any other entry, so that you want to process before any other entry. So if we want to process this before any other entry, so we have to make sure the entry is before any other entry. So before any other entry, I am giving my entry here that http_access, and I want to allow. Now who I want to allow? So I want to allow my list. The name for my list is my net. So this is what I did. I created the list here, and then I decided to allow or deny. I decided to allow actually. So I allowed my list here, and my list says these source IP addresses. Now remember, it was not allowing our client, which is in this network, because it is not a private network by default. So I have allowed it, I changed it, I added one entry, I will save, and then I will restart the service to make sure the changes will be applied. Now we will check from the client side whether it is able to access or not. Now from the client side it was getting the access denied error. Now I will try to refresh again, and now it is getting the site. It is getting the site because we have configured the Squid server to allow this network, and now it is getting the access. Now just like we allowed our network, we can configure the ACL. We can configure the ACL for the different type or different things. Like for example, you want to deny some account, some IP addresses, like for the client. Like you want to deny some IP addresses, you can add that into the list. You want to deny some websites, so you can also add it into the list. Let's say I want to deny some IP address. I will deny this IP address. This machine has an IP address of 19.0.0.2. Right now it is working. It is accessing because all the networks are allowed. So I want to deny this. So what I will do, I will create the new entry, new ACL. Okay, now what? I will open the configuration file again, and I will create new list here. ACL, I say, let's say bad IP, and I want to block that IP. And I will give source. This time I will mention the IP address which I want to block. And then I will go on to say allow or deny. Now before allowing my network, I will say block this IP. So before allowing that, the whole network, I will say deny bad IP. So first it is going to deny this IP, and then it is going to allow the whole network. So if any request come from any IP addresses, it will try to match the list. First it will try to match this list, and if it is this IP address, then it is going to be denied. And if it is not the IP address, then it is going to check the other list. The next list says this net is allowed, so it is this network, and if it is allowed, if it is in that network, then it is allowed. Now we'll do what? We'll save it and restart the services. Now let's check what happened to client. So it is having that IP address. Now I will it was available, it was accessing. Now when I try again, it says the proxy server is refusing the connection. Now it is again refusing the connection. Why? Because it is not allowed to access the proxy server. If we change the IP address, if you try to change the IP address, nmcli connection modify for the IPv4 addresses, and this time I will change the address to 3. NMCLI connection up, and now I change the IP address to different IP address, and I try to reconnect again, and now it is what? It is allowing the access. It is not saying that refuse. It is trying to get the access, and now it is allowed. So it is now allowed because it is having different IP addresses which we have denied. Now I will try to access some site here. Let's say for example I want to go to Facebook. So I will try Facebook now. And it is working. It is accessing Facebook. Now we want to block this. We want to block this Facebook site. We don't want user to access the Facebook. So I will do what? I will create another list there. So I will create the another list here under the configuration file. So under the list section, I will create new list for the web site 1. Now the option will be URL regex. Then what I will do? I will put the URL which we want to block. So I will say Facebook. I don't want to allow the site, so I say Facebook, and then I will make sure that option will come first. So I will say HTTP at the beginning. You have to see the order of the list, and then I say deny, and deny the list name is site 1. Then I will save it and restart the services. Now I will go to client now, and again I will try to access the Facebook. This time again proxy server is refusing it. It is refusing it. It is not allowing to access. Now I will try to access other site. Let's say for example I will try to go to Google. Google is working. I will try to search the Facebook on Google. It is showing the results here. I will try to go on to the site from here. Again it says refused, because it is, whenever it sees this URL, it is refusing the connection. It is not allowing the connection. It is not allowing the site to work. Now there are lots of sites are there which we want to block. That means we have lots of sites there. So what we should do, we should check the logs, because users are trying to search the sites, try to get the access of different sites, and you want to block those sites. So you can do what? You should always monitor the logs so that you know that what the users are accessing. And remember, the logs are under what? Under the where log under the squid directory. So logs are very important to see that what users are doing and what should be blocked. So under that we have the access log here. So when you check the access log, you have all the detail about the access log and what the users did and what they have accessed and who did the access, what IP addresses they have tried to access and what sites they are trying to access. We can see the site also. We can see what they are trying to access. We can see who is trying to access. So depending on that, we can try to we can create the list of the sites which we want to deny them, or we want them to not allow. So let's say for example we have some sites. So what I will do, I will create a file here under the etc squid directory. This is the main configuration directory. I will create the site list here which I want to block. Under the list I can mention the name of the sites one by one. Let's say for example I want to block Yahoo. I want to block. Now you don't have to give the site name, you don't have to give the whole site name. You can give the keyword, you can only give the keyword and it is not going to be searched. If you say I want to block the Flipkart here, you don't have to give the whole, you don't have to give the site name, you just have to give the keywords. Amazon. So we don't have to give the whole keyword. So whatever the keywords you see, like users are finding like those X words, that those X sites, so we can just put those X words here, those keywords here, so users are not going to access those. Now after creating the list, we can add it into our main configuration file. For using that file, we will make another list here. ACL, I say the site list, and I will use the URL option here, URL regex -i, and then here I will mention the name of those that file. So under the squid directory, the file name is site list. Then we will allow or deny whatever we want. I want to deny those site list, and then again I will restart the service, and then I will check it from the client side. Now this site is already blocked, it is not working. I will go to Google and I will try to give the Amazon here. Now it is showing the Amazon here. I will try to click on that and it says no, it is blocked. Okay, I will try to access Flipkart. It is also a site to buy something, online trading, online things. So I try to use this again. It is showing the site is there, but when I try to access it, okay, maybe I have misspelled that. Okay, it is accessing. The Amazon was not accessing, this one is accessing. Maybe I have misspelled this site. What else we have mentioned? We have mentioned for Yahoo. Yahoo also we mentioned, and it is also not working. I think I made a mistake on Flipkart name. What was the name here? Okay, I made a mistake here. It is Flipkart. It is a wrong name. Okay, let me fix that. So it is the spelling is wrong. It is Flipkart. Now let's check again. Flipkart, and now it is also denied. So this is what we can deny these multiple sites. So we just give the keyword and those keywords will be denied. So any that keyword comes in a URL, anywhere in the URL, it is going to be denied. So we configure the proxy, and we configure also some of the rules to block some different websites or different clients also. But still there is multiple ways, multiple types of list we can create, multiple options of list we can create. Now where we will get all those things, how we'll know that what type of options we use and what type of list we can create? So all those options and lists we can get it from the sample file. The sample file is available under the USR share directory. For the Squid, we have these squid.conf documented sample file. We can use this file to check. It is a config file, it is just like a documented sample file, and in that you have all these options with the description that what you can configure. And for the ACL, you have the ACL section here where you can see how you can configure the ACLs. So there are lots of things here with this Squid server which we can configure, authentication, permissions, and also. And this is our access controls. This is the ACL section where we can define the different ACL, and how we can define the ACL, what are the options we have. All these things are here under this section. Like we can see here ACL, then ACL name, then ACL type, and based on the ACL type we define the arguments. And if you are mentioning the file, then you have to do it under the quote. And there are lots of different types of available here. We can create the ACL by source, destination, local IP address. We can create the ACL based on source domain, destination domain, source domain regex, destination domain regex. We can use -i option for files. Then you have option to mention the time also. We can create the ACL based on time. We can define the time in days and minutes, and the hours and minutes, so that we want to allow someone to access the proxy server through the proxy server on this particular day and time. Like we want to mention Sunday, so you have to use S for Monday, M, T, Tuesday, Wednesday, for Thursday, H, Friday is AF, and Saturday is A. So you can mention like this. Then we have used these URL regex with -i option to use it as a file. And also you have many other options for using. So we can also make the list based on the port number, local port number, my port name, and port HTTP FTP method for the guest and post. So these are the all different options of type of firewall ACLs we can create, and you can get all these information from here with the samples also. So this is a Squid server we configured. Squid server is basically a proxy server which is used to do what? Configure the proxy for our client, works as an internet proxy, and this proxy server can works as a application level firewall also, where we can define what users can what IP addresses can access the internet, and also we can decide which sites and applications should work. And this is our Squid server.